All right, guys. So let's clear up a little bit of madness nonsense. Now that you've seen what is happening with the numbers live, you've seen what the person that's spamming the emoji does. You've seen all kinds of stuff. So after showing you, like live exactly what's going to happen when I'm saying this or that, again, what trends it versus not trending it, seems sort of opposite, right? So, again, if we're trying to throw a wrench in it, that's the point. I want to show you that. I want to show you what happens when this person that's doing this, thinks this or that at any given time. Like if I'm mouthing somebody off and they want this person to look bad and have been trying to do that for a while, and suddenly they can manipulate other people to, hate them too or something like that. You get what I'm saying? So, this this person that's doing this group of people that is doing this, um again, follows very same patterns, and there have been too many things that have lined up where I think it's kind of obvious. So obviously, given who I was blaming in the last stream and what we saw as a result of that, again, we saw considerably more concurrence than now. Like we are at 3. They're not bringing malicious view bots in here for this. Here we are at 3. So, what's actually going on? Well, Pierogi himself from Scammer Payback, and their team, and I've said this before, but sort of tried to make it seem like I wasn't aware, stuff like that. And we've been kind of going back and forth with this for a while, showing you what happens when I say the opposite and stuff like that. They think this is working, that sort of thing. So it actually did happen, and his family is getting doxxed, and right here it is on his own X page explaining the entire situation. And this was back in 2024. And look, the things that are described in this, okay? This follows pretty much exactly the threats that we're dealing with and the behavior of the person. And so like the point is that, and then I've even mentioned mods before and stuff like that. Like you gotta recognize that this all started somewhere, if you get what I'm saying. And so like just looking at this, reading through this, and seeing all the same patterns, it's terrible, because the point is that yeah, that's exactly how this person operates. They get to know people, they try to get to know people, and they feel very justified by this. Again, like I told you how this person clearly contacted my brother, You know, he was trying to, have conversations with them, and he was impersonating my family members, doxing me. He had my street address typed into the title of a video on his YouTube channel for like 7 months. And it's this stuff, and even impersonating pierogi, trying to scam people and stuff. He did that in my chat before too. So, all of these are sort of kind of following that pattern. And so, like, again, I want to talk a little bit about something that I think is happening, and I need to tell you, other than this. I've tried to subliminally say this, and these people only became more rammy. I mean, I swear to God, I literally got an Indian Bible randomly sent to me. Okay? We are talking about... Okay, and I've already told you how Sevendust is one of my favorite groups too, and I actually met the members and stuff like that before. I've said this. Okay, what group made the most recent album about God? And then suddenly they're coming into God and finding God and yada yada yada. Who else did that recently? Again, not throwing shame at faith or anything, nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying they use the church's data system. So the point is, you all got into God all of a sudden because whoever nudged you. Was it YouTube? Was it a pamphlet? Was it a person? Whatever that was that nudged you, that is your investigative loop. I promise this has been happening more and more, and here is the reason I can say that. There's another thing that the irresponsible Trump administration, while controlling the CIA, is also doing. Okay, you can't trust them. They will befriend you just to betray you. Cannot trust them. There's another thing they're also doing. And it was with... It was with the sort of thing, again, where it was the sort of thing where again, this is Trump taking off the guardrails, so to speak, of AI, right? And the purpose is non-regulation. That's supposed to be the purpose. May I remind you that men are seeking guidance and being happier by themselves and alone. Look at the like button, by the way. What is another thing that makes you more comfortable alone, makes you feel safe, makes you feel good? Jesus. Not God, not that, not in general, but specifically this Jesus thing. So again, I'm not throwing shade on it. I'm just saying it's the sort of thing where people are absolutely feeling more comfortable alone by themselves. And so if they can get as many people to leave their wives, like be alone, like whatever situation they can manipulate, the irresponsible CIA is doing that. And so it's a thing where they're splitting everybody up. A lot of this is actually a pretty common thing, the thing that's happening to me, where it was like all these different things in a row, and I even told you that. And there's actually a good percentage of like men in general in this country that are experiencing like loss of all their friends, um like seclusion and stuff like that. And then we also see the similar percentage um involving themselves mostly in AI, like an AI friend or something like that. um and so, like, again, when these are all methods of doing this and everybody sort of kind of started doing this all around the same time, you want to put these things together. I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying put them together and follow that investigative trail. That's where you go. So I'm just saying there's going to be some things about that. There's people planted in churches all the time. They're accepting of everybody. I mean, flat out. Give me a second. I got to do something really quick. 1 second. Sorry. All right, sorry. My fault. Um, but anyway, the point is that you need to notice these patterns and sort of like follow this, kind of investigative route sort of thing. So, like, for example, do you see the emoji right now? This is some sort of manipulative way for me to tell you what I just did. That's all that is. So, um, a lot of these things are the same thing. Um, you know, like the specific, like this too, where like the behavior, if you remember, one of the things No Sleep did right when I first blocked him, or I'm sorry, right when I was about to block him and I was blocking other people, he was telling them to go, yeah, the people I was blocking, he was telling them to go like subscribe to their channel and stuff. So, and I do believe that they have technology. What they're doing is some of the crazy sci-fi shit that you're reading about. It's actually why this you can't trust me. The signals and shit. I swear to God. I know it sounds crazy. They are doing it. And I'm aware I'm not an idiot. So, the CIA, it's what I said at the start, not the start of my channel, but somewhere. I actually theorized a technology that they had already developed. I didn't even realize it. Just found out about it. So they actually do have the technology to read your mind. I didn't know that. But it's exactly what I said. You have to think out loud. So stop it. You're talking to yourself in your head. Don't do it. Learn how to think not like that. You can do it. You have to figure it out, though. I promise. Play around with it. You'll see. I did. Got some pretty conclusive tests. Fairly conclusive. One thing they can't figure out is why it doesn't work on me. That's what they can't figure out. I know, confetti, I know. Well, like, the point is they think it works, but it doesn't. Like like to them it works, but like pretty much everything they do with me is inconclusive. Like, it's just not right. Just be like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. He did that, but supposedly he was thinking that. Wait, what? Which is wrong. It'll get it wrong with me. And I know why. But I'm not going to tell them. But you know what I am doing? I'm thinking really hard about the reason it's not. They're like, fuck. And sometimes I screw with them too. I would trust Obama to know. I would tell him. I would tell him. He can know. Oh my goodness. So anyway, obviously the warning about mods is true. Now you know why. Just trying to warn you guys, like, without blasting somebody. But like, it's the sort of thing where they're so like, all right, for example, I had to mention them again, and I'll tell you why this time. No matter what I did, yeah, I separated the data. I tried so hard. I only kept one. No, because trilogy's not direct, but maybe it is trilogy. I didn't think of that. I kept because it actually does explain that in here. I kept one direct subscription that works with him, but that's it. I unsubscribed from him when initially something happened, and just really did not want, knowing the situation. I was just like, whoa, all right, they're clearly trying to screw something, like cause some sort of like all right. So obviously I was concerned about what's going on with the thing I told you about previously. The concern is, look, the trial is already going. The guy didn't do it. We have no idea who shot Charlie Kirk. And I've told you already, it's Trump. It's literally his fucking people. The bullet did not fucking like match. Or there was no bullet or something. Like the whole point is like it was just blatant evidence. I forget now, obviously. But like it was something with the bullet where like, that didn't add up and blatant evidence. And it was like um uh, so then why was he arrested? Huh? So obviously I was a little concerned about the fact that, all right, like Thomas Crooks, he was clearly, that was a manipulation tactic. And I truly believe that. I truly believe, again, while he seemed like he acted alone, this is how the CIA operates. And why is it that I always have gas right when I talk about the goddamn CIA? It's like on fucking cue every time, isn't it? Every time I have to go like this. It's on cue, isn't it? Isn't that interesting? Boy, that is some fascinating fucking stuff, isn't it? Yeah. It's almost like when I saw an emoji response directly related to the exact moment that an infection was caused in my mouth. Isn't that weird? That one's weird. How would I know that? Isn't that weird? Do you remember the comment about the candy bars a while back? How I told you they were collecting lists of things about you? So Um, it's really, really disgusting and sad to think about, but you know, I mean, I talked about this before, but even in that video that I watched, did you remember how I pointed out, and nobody else really seemed to point this out? Why is nobody else talking about that? How the guy that was filmed in the one video, he didn't react. Like there was like this booth where all these people were being filmed and stuff. And this footage was released to the internet relatively quickly. And the point is, I think Steve Lookner covered it on Agenda Free. I think that's who covered it. And the footage that he had, it was the sort of thing where the guy that was filming in the booth, he didn't react at all. How do you not react to a shooting? You just watched blood splatter. Everybody goes and dives all over the place. Everybody inside, even the guy. And this guy right here, just standing there looking straight out, dead face down, like nothing happened. He's a spotter. That's what a spotter is. It's called a spotter. He's got an earpiece and everything. It's probably in his right ear, not his left, because he knew the guy was on his phone. That's literally what they do. They stand there and confirm. He's got nothing to do with it, and he can walk out plainly. That's how they do it. And then they just pin it on the other person. So again, we don't know who did it, but that's still very suspicious. I think any suspicious behavior of an individual around that should be interviewed and looked at. Okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he had any, you know, I'm just saying that's suspicious. Okay? You're cool as a cucumber during an assassination. I mean, how many of these do you have? do you normally deal with it? Oh, okay, there it is. Like, what the fuck? What did this guy like? I mean, even if he was a soldier, he'd have a reaction, especially then. There's just no, he's not desensitized to this. Okay, okay. This is very jarring to notice that. And then nobody's talking about it. I get like I get more worried about, you know, his wife. Like what she must be going through, and just I just can't imagine. And it's all about blatant fucking setup. And this guy was the flagship. Well, that's the point. That's why he sunk it. Trump always does this. It's on purpose. Don't you recognize this by now? The guy's world's biggest fucking scammer. It's on purpose. He does the thing to cancel the thing. He makes some money off it somehow. We need to recognize that. Him scheduling a fucking talking event makes him money. Period. Is that a normal president with a normal agenda? His wife can't even speak English properly. What the fuck is that about? What? Nobody ever questions these things. She's a first lady. She can't even form complete sentences. What is going on with that? Why has she always been this mystery weird person that just randomly showed up around the same time Epstein did in Trump's life? Why does she speak a lick of English? Why is his ex-wife buried on his golf course? You do understand that's how the CIA operates, right? They'll spend decades letting this guy get away with something just to use that agent to be like, well, we're going to catch a whole bunch of them. No, you're just committing crimes for decades so you can commit crimes for decades. That's what you're doing. And then when it catches up with you, you just yeah. That's a normal Republican thing to do. That's what they fucking do. I mean, that's what they do. So, why is this a surprise, man? And by the way, I'm such a good analyst. I'm such a good analyst. Analyst. Either. I called that. What the hell? How did I do that? No, I'm genuinely genuinely like, how'd I do that? I literally never heard Palm Beach Pete ever. And I was like, something tells me that guy, he kind of sounds like this. He's way up here. You know, he kind of has a voice that sounds like this because he kind of looks like that, you know? And I swear to God, I was like, you know, I wonder what this guy actually sounds like now that I said that. Holy fucking shit. He sounds exactly like that. I'm like, oh my God. And I was pointing out the fact that everybody was dumb and they were like, oh, it's Epstein, dirt to dirt. No, it's his doppelganger. No, it's not. Epstein, he probably sounds like this, you know, he's real low. You know, like, I mean, it's probably how he sounds, right? Like, okay? I mean, like, okay, the guy's educated, all right? He doesn't sound like this. He doesn't sound like a fucking lunatic, you know, all the time. You know, he's fucking crazy. He doesn't sound like that. That guy's been to 8,000 craps tables. He's banging a new grandma every night. Yeah. Yeah, that's that guy. No, really. Well, he ain't Epstein. The voice is totally different. And trust me, there's a difference between somebody changing their voice and somebody that actually just sounds like that. Christian Bale, though, talk to him. You want to hear somebody that, holy shit, can sound however he wants. Okay, I'll admit that. Anyway. Yeah, you know how many people think he's has an American accent? So many people think that before they'll watch an interview. I mean, like, I had no idea. Yeah, he doesn't even sound like that. Like the thickest And it's not like the normal, it's British, right? It's not the normal British, it's like some weird. Oh, by the way, I wanted to say this too while I'm thinking about it. I wanted to say this too while I'm thinking about it. Guys, listen, people people would always say that, like, with Ozzy and stuff, um, again, he did have Parkinson's, but like that the talking and stuff had anything to do with the drugs and like, no, on the old age and the no, he always was difficult to trust me. When that guy could speak just fine, he's to me to sound like this, he's just talking to the Indian, and it's, yeah, whatever he says, and we're gonna go down to the shop but it's and then like literally, I remember there was times where like people just didn't understand what he would say. It's just difficult to understand because of his accent. It's his accent. Like literally. And then like I swear to God, I remember there was this time. I always understood him, but I think that's just because I spent so much time like watching stuff. I just, Osbournes and stuff. But I remember, I swear to God, there was like some interview. I forget who all it was, but there was multiple celebrities. Ozzy was there, Sharon was there, and Ozzy answered a question, and I swear to God, everybody turned their heads to the room and looked at Sharon for translation. So, so I wanted to throw that out there. That had nothing to do with all the he admits to it, like it's terrible, don't do drugs and stuff like that. He admits it. It's the worst thing he ever did. But again, it had nothing to do with anything. He literally always sounded like that. It didn't matter if he was loaded, it didn't matter. Seriously. There were times blatantly you could tell. You could just be like, you could tell. Because when he was younger, he didn't wear like the glasses all the time and you could see his eyes. He was fine. He wasn't just loaded all the time. See, that's what people thought. Uh, he just partied. Like, it was always like after the show and stuff. No, he's very much a workaholic. Very much so. Anyway, so like I just see, like, I didn't even know that the people's call centers in Tampa. Like, I just like, like it's stuff like that where it's like, oh man, like all this stuff's getting out. And so anyway, the thing that happened recently, that I start talking about that and get off that, did I tell you? I didn't tell you, did I? So the thing that happened recently, originally I told you that one, right? The thing that happened recently, the reason I mentioned this again, sorry, I guess I didn't say that, did I? I did what I did to unsubscribe. I did what I did to push away. And part of the reason for that was because I had reason to believe there was a real threat, like I talked about. And I was aware of this. I was aware of, obviously, the threats, in my chat at my family. So I did all that. I unsubscribed. I only had, again, like I said, Trilogy and one other. But not him, not directly Scammer Payback. Again, I that's why I did that. And it sucks because I like Scammer Payback. I watched everything they put out. So like the whole that's why that sucked. Here's what happened. Recently, I was going through and it was locked, like, yeah, I was showing you earlier. Okay. And I was just refreshing that and showing you it would just lock to whatever they said it would be, they wanted it to be. So that's the point. They're just picking and choosing what you see. So I was scrolling through one night. I think I was looking just, for somebody that was live or something like that. I don't know. I was just scrolling a little bit, just a little bit. And not very long into scrolling, right there it was. And after all this time, I unsubscribed. I didn't block or anything like that. I just unsubscribed. Didn't watch, didn't do anything, didn't intentionally didn't go and watch anything. And I swear to God, right there as I'm scrolling, there's a recent interview with Pierogi. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but we sort of look a little alike. Um, like, I mean, it was like, it was the sort of thing where it was like, it was like, um, to grab my attention clearly. And the thumbnail was just him sitting there. And I swear to God, I was like, okay, all right, there it is. All right, let's see it. So now this time I was gonna click it. Last time it was a threat, and I'm like, oh hell no. And when I went to record the evidence, the page blipped all by itself. Imagine that, right? Just like you saw with the random white page that it needs to be reloaded. What the hell was that? Anyway, um I clicked it, and within seconds of the video, hi, I'm Pierogi and I dox scammers for a living. So I just I just had to. I'm like, oh, that I wonder what they did to get that edited right there, get him to say that. Like I wonder what went through just what manipulative scheme, what thing they worked at all week to get him to the point to where he was going to say exactly that. Get me to see that. This is kind of sort of what I mean by this stuff. And I know we got the full frontal of the emojis right now. We really do. But this is what I meant about this stuff. So obviously the concern is that it's not really just these people. It's the fact that these, this manipulation, this tactic, we're all clearly being manipulated against each other. I've said this before. I said this with the other streamers that networked with me previously too. They didn't sort of kind of, um and what adult are you gonna get that's gonna follow it to the letter? I mean, adults gonna do what they're gonna do. So it's the sort of thing where you can't really tell somebody don't do this. They're just gonna fucking do that thing. I mean, a child's gonna do that too, but yeah. So it's the sort of thing where it makes it very easy in a world where Donald Trump's already doing this. The behaviors are everywhere. It is just one thing. So if an evil group cult figures out what it is, they can do it too. And that's the really bad thing that's kind of going on. So that's the thing with manipulating church data and stuff like that. They definitely like people to be more church-minded and stuff because that's a person. So the reason why they seek people out like this is because people with blind faith will sometimes believe God is acting. That's the reality of what unfortunately a blind faith does with no proof. Unfortunately, you're sort of creating psychopaths. Unfortunately, because what happens is they're gonna just blindly believe things if they would actually believe that God is doing it. Except God doesn't work that way. Like what part you missed the part that says he doesn't really interfere with free will. So when you know that, there's not going to be some divine intervention. Very rarely are you going to pray and get what you want. You have to make it happen. You. So it's a give and take relationship with God. It's not, and that's why I think it's like this Jesus thing. Like that was a man. Stop praying to Jesus. Sick and tired of the Bible getting it wrong. Not the only one saying it. And by the way, I think I said it first. I think I inspired some people. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just trying to say I didn't steal it from anybody that's like really, really smart or anything like that. Um, this is something that I've been thinking about for quite some time and just finally decided to be like, let's say it, you know? And no, because I do steal things. We all steal things sometimes from other creators. We all do that. Because that's the next thing. You got to do it, right? No, the malicious toxicity of it is when some stupid asshole is hanging out in your chat every day before he starts a stream, and then telling everybody he's going live, and then he does the thing you're doing on your stream. That's a malicious. That's malicious. That's not normal. Okay. So, okay. That's not what we're doing here. Okay. Obviously, obviously I'm doing my own thing here. Very much my own thing here. And I was gonna prove that, damn it. No, it's the sort of thing it's the sort of thing where it's just the facts are in the details. If you're science minded, you're gonna start to realize certain things when checks and balances fall apart. You'll just see certain things. Because you don't have that cushion to do it for you anymore. Like the people behind the scenes saw it and they took care of it. It's called having a government that actually is competent. That's what we had for a long time, actually. Which is why I've always, liked this country. But, the orange man came in and handed it to the orange people. That's literally what he did. I swear to God. And you're not even recognizing that. How many times I gotta say he's orange without making it about race? I'm not trying to be racist. I'm just trying to call it for what it is. That guy, for some strange reason, his family is Middle Eastern. So, let's destroy Iran for no reason whatsoever. He's orange. And he came in here and gave the better deal to Iran. That's what he did. To Israel. That's what he did. By the way, I want to remind you, Israel just bombs the shit out of people. That's what they do. They've been doing that. Okay. Like, this is all this stuff. The doxing, all this stuff. This is what he's doing. It's that shit. It's all the same stuff that was done to Pierogi. Not even 2 years ago. So, and again, I've told you about the manipulations. I've told you about how they're angling this. There's a really like high, like we're talking 98% is probably where I'd put that. That under Trump, the CIA is so goddamn corrupt that they are doing things like this. I mean, this guy has proven that he's worse than J. Edgar Hoover, and J. Edgar Hoover did things like this. I want to remind you, J. Edgar Hoover used the FBI to assassinate Malcolm X and confuse the Black Panther movement confused people to be more racist and just riled up the Black Panther movement at a time when people were speaking about civil rights. Oh, what just happened to the Voting Rights Act? What just happened? What just happened? What just happened? To make it so that people in certain states can't vote for, like, again, black. So, like, Memphis, Tennessee, for example. Did this just happen in Memphis? And somewhere in Tennessee, where the area is predominantly black. And so you'd want the majority of the people to have a say in who represents them. So why the fuck would you take away the voting rights of the majority of the people? Why? Because you're racist? That was locked at 6 for a while, by the way. It went up to 8, went down to 4. Just letting you know. So, I just, I tried to be all incognito about it and send messages and stuff, but people just don't, I guess, don't get it. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on, so it's fine. I just, again, the part of the problem with telling you is they know too. As soon as I tell you, they're gonna do 100% whatever they have continued to do to spin this back the other way. I swear, it's always gonna do that. So this was always the issue with just blatantly telling you. It will always get spun. They're plugging it into the AI right now just to figure out. I was always smarter than them. This is why they built this AI. This is why Elon rushed it. Ha ha. Yeah, immediately laughing. Yeah, I'm sure that's really funny. Whatever. Doesn't change it. Look it up. You just look it up. It's not that hard to find out. Look it up. He rushed it. Wasn't that long ago. It had a deadline. He was supposed to meet. He unsafely rushed it. And now Trump just signed the quantum computing thing. Durr. Still think they're not trying to literally hack your mind at this point? Right? Still think they're not trying to literally basically hack your mind at this point? Yeah. Imagine if they accomplished that. Here's part of the thing that we're starting to realize and we're concerned about. There's real evidence, actual plausible, I don't know about evidence, but I should say more theorized evidence, findings. More evidence than the Bible has presented of God, I should say. Um, there has been some recent development in the sense that this whole Matrix concept may actually not be all that far-fetched. And it actually makes sense. Which is why things are unexplainable. And this is what I think. I think that we're intentionally confined to our solar system and things become difficult the further out we go, and things are so vast because we're not supposed to do that. And if we did, we'd probably find some stuff out about our existence that we shouldn't know. So like it's the sort of thing where like we would unmake ourselves. So like it if you don't exist on that plane of existence, you can't interact with it. So part of the issue is that just like we made AI, okay? If we are something that exists inside a computer or a simulation, we are going to seem very real to us. We could very well just be a computer simulation. Completely meaningless. That is obviously the concern. So, the point is that there's actually some evidence lately that's been kind of supporting that theory. And the more they go into this whole mind acting on brainwaves thing, the more they want to believe it. If that makes sense. Yeah, because the brain operates on a certain frequency. So like it's more that, and like all right, for here. You guys are never gonna look this up. You're just gonna be like, as conspiracy stuff. Duh, I'm dumb and I don't look anything up. So I don't believe you just because you're the only one that I know of that's saying it. So since I'm a dumbass and I don't look anything up, duh. All right, well. Hold on. Hold on. Do 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 do. Where is it? I'm gonna find it. Is it that? I think it's this. Yeah, I think it's this. So there's a couple of things here. Hold on, let me just
quote the man directly.
Yeah, this is it. So check this out. Good video. Okay, so there's one. Where is it? Oh boy. I'm trying to find it. I answered that, by the way. So somebody asked me about some drumming stuff. That was the stuff you want me to answer that now since they took it out of the stream? I answered that stuff. So like somebody was asking me about In the Air Tonight and stuff like that. While I'm looking for this, I'll explain. And they were literally like removing sections. So In the Air Tonight, I was explaining that I don't know for sure, but it's actually not a difficult fill. The reason that fill is actually so legendary on drums, um, is actually just because of where it is and the build up to it. Like just the legendary awesome build up to it, you know, like just getting to that point. And then how could I ever forget? You know, like, you know, just getting to that point. And then you know, choo 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 choo. You know, I talked about how it's not that difficult. I think it's just two hits where it's like this, do 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 do, and then I think you can hit the snare twice at the end too for a fill. That's what I was saying. I think it is. So it's do 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 do. That's what I said. I thought it was, and then I even played it a little bit for you. So I said you can do the two hits where it's, or you can hit at the same time. But I said I think it sounds better if you hit, you know, the two at different times. I forget what the terminology name for that is. But that's how I was explaining that, was just that it's not that difficult of a fill to do. It's just the reason it's so legendary is because of where it was. And again, the fact that Phil Collins is so epic, he is drumming that. So the point is, if you watch it live, he'll sit down and start drumming at that point, and then keep playing for the rest of the song, and it's so fucking cool. Because that's what you're waiting for. He'll start it. He'll start it not that way. He'll start with singing, and it's like, Oh man, he's gonna sit down and start playing, and you're just waiting for it. You're waiting for it because there's a little set over there. You're waiting for it. You're waiting for it, and he just slowly makes his way over there. It's cool. So the point is that that was legendary because of just how it sounded. The 80s had like these drums that were really iconic and cool. And I talked about how like, you know, there was like scenes in movies that would use them and stuff. Like if there was like a horror movie and somebody was like, you know, like sneaking around, or even like a thriller or something like that, you know, they'd be like on a street at night, and it's like, you know, like tee, tee, doo, 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 tee, doo, 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 doo. You know, like stuff like that, you know. So like Beverly Hills Cop classically had those drums too. Never Gonna Give You Up. Like every 80s song ever that you can think of had those like electronic drum kit sort of sounding drums, just because again that it sounded cool. So that's a lot of what that was, where he was doing um I don't know if he did electronic on the original recording or not, but I knew he plays the acoustic drums live. So it was just cool, you know, because he was doing it on acoustic. I thought that was cool. It sounded good. Um so yeah, obviously the legendary Prestige Worldwide. No, I'm just kidding. No, obviously. Another Will Ferrell reference. Obviously, there's plenty of reasons to love Phil Collins and love that drum riff. But somebody asked me about it, and I was just trying to educate. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard to do. Um, and trust me, it's not like when Zach says it's really not all that hard, and then he does this. It's not anything like that. Okay. It's not anything like that. I am not doing that with that. That one's not actually hard. You want a hard drum riff? I was talking about Wipeout from the Beach Boys. I talked about that. That's actually hard. You know, it's you know, I mean, it's just like that's hard, man. That's not easy to do. You do that with drumsticks? That's not easy to do, man. And I talked about how the drummer for Jimmy Eat World, if you want a drummer that's very underestimated and not talked about a lot, but technical at the same time, Jimmy Eat World. And I talked about that. I talked about how that I used to play drums to that, and that helped me with some of my technicalities on the snare and stuff. I really liked um the drums, a praise chorus. They just added that finally. They finally added the video to YouTube. You should go check it out. Um, but yeah, that was that one where I was like, that was the one I talked about before. Not Get It Faster. No, not Get It Faster. What's it called? I know the drum riff, but I don't remember the name of the song. Hold on. It's gonna drive me nuts. Just give me a sec. Is it Authority song? No, Cautioners. It's Cautioners. It's Cautioners. Cautioners, Cautioners, Cautioners. That one, Cautioners. Cautioners. That one. I like that one. That was a cool drum riff. I like that. Sweetness was cool too. But Cautioners. Sweetness was like, if you're listening. Whoa. All right. It was this. This is the other one. Did I share the right one with you guys? This is the other one that I was looking at. I don't care what you do. I'm getting out. Nothing ever changed. That should be good. The Y files are pretty good. I like the Y files. So I know I said I wasn't going to be here long, and then here we are. But, you know, I wanted to talk a little bit about all that and just tell you, you know, tell you what's going on, level with you a little bit about some stuff. But, you know, sometimes we just talk about normal shit too. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the thing I found out too. Putin just needs to go away. He needs to be gone. Putin needs to be gone. The AI family. Don't pay money to a bunch of people that are claiming to be family members that are gonna write you a song. Don't do that. It's a scam. I can't stand it. I know you fucking planned it. The music video is amazing, by the way. Listen, all y'all, it's sabotage. Oh, yeah, that's right. It made me think, that's right. Now I remember. The stuff that's been going on made me think, wow. So the movie Weird Science from like, you know, I watched from like when I was a kid, that shit, that's real, huh? Huh. That's interesting. I was thinking that recently. I was thinking, yeah, so if that's the case, then stuff like Weird Science and stuff wasn't really all that far-fetched, I guess. Great movie. You know that had Robert Downey Jr. in it? Love freaking Weird Science. Weird Science. The fucking Matrix movies, man. They were so good. Why did those have to be so good? And then everybody had to be dumb about it. This generation doesn't seem dumb about it. Pretty interesting. You know what is annoying though? Accepting the new Matrix movie for what we got. Like, I'm not complaining about all of it, but I did not like what they did with Smith. That pissed me off. Smith was just wrong. Like I sort of liked it, but I didn't like the random guy. I wanted it to be Smith. And if they're gonna be the consistency with why they did it before, they would change his appearance after he makes the decision to help Neo, not before. So it still would have looked like Hugo Weaving Smith. Hugo Weaving was you can't he's irreplaceable. So like you put him in a role, you better get him back. Otherwise you just don't do the role again. You can't replace him. He's gonna nail it and you can't replace him. He's just one of those actors. He will do the role. Period. He's in a league. He's up there. I personally think he's in a league with Patrick Stewart. I think he could have been a captain or something. Yeah. Hugo Weaving, for sure. For sure. Brilliant actor. So I guess that's just mainly those two. Oh, well, maybe that one too. So, man, what you have to consider is just that all this stuff's going to come out because what Trump's going to do is he's going to make it look like he's releasing the information and being honest about it. But like people are already confused about Democrats and Republicans. So this is just disinformation on his part where he wants to confuse you and try to spin it the other way by declassifying things. And part of the reason they keep it a secret and stuff is really for that, is because people do have a habit of exploding unnecessarily at something that's not necessarily even a problem anymore. Like the whole point is if Obama's administration is ethical and just comes in and deals with it, there's no problem anymore. It's that simple. Literally. So like a lot of this stuff, it's stuff that existed from the Bush administration, the corrupt, George W. Bush, incredibly corrupt administration. Not him, but he got hacked. I mean, like so many things happened to him. So like just his administration was really breached. Like their security wasn't that great. And seemingly Trump has come along and almost done the same things, kind of almost on purpose, where he doesn't even need to. So like why did he go back to George W.'s plane? Why is he using the plane from George W.'s days? Why? Did you know that he did that? He's not using a new one. He's using the one from the days of George W. Bush. I can tell you why. Do you know why? Do you know why? Donald Trump doesn't want to admit China, all these people, embarrassed them, hacked the shit out of their administration, and all they did was go to China and hand them everything they want so that they don't release it and tell the world and tell you. And he's using another plane so they can't crash it because it has old enough technology that they can't hack into it. All the new stuff, they're breached now. I know, confetti right when I said, I know. You haven't been hitting that button the whole time. Like literally this whole time you haven't been hitting it, but right when I said that, confetti. Yes, I totally believe that you're not, right there. Totally believe that. Yeah, so, guys, just put 2 and 2 together. There's no reason for him to use an old archaic fucking plane from 20 years ago. This plane's 20 years old. Okay? Remember how he accepted a plane from Qatar? And how illegal that is? Remember that? Why isn't he using that? Gee, I wonder. Dirt. Because here I went and got on stream and I went, hey, dumbass Trump. They put a bomb in that plane, right? They put a bomb in it. There's probably a listening device too. You dumbass. Don't get on the plane. And I'll bet it's parked in your little White House lot too. And then Trumpy Trump, he's afraid of everything. So he is watching because he's afraid of everything. And I do give credible information. And sure enough, I'll bet he checked the plane and Sure enough, I'll bet there was a listening device. And in fact, I'll bet there was multiple listening. I'll bet, in fact, the entire goddamn thing was so fucking bugged that it's an entire spying tool. It's not even just to spy on them. It sitting here on American soil is a matter of national security. I'll be willing to bet. In fact, maybe. Wait, where'd this come from? Qatar? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they slipped a nuke on there too. I doubt it, but it's possible. Here it is. Trump accepted it, and there a nuke sits right in DC. Now you know why he has an underground bunker overnight. What the fuck? He's not doing anything about it? What the fuck? What the fuck? I know. Confetti, I know. Remove the fucking asshole already. Remove him. Literally, what the fuck? Qatar? I mean, even accepting a gift from the United Nations would still be you'd still probably not necessarily the best idea. And that's the United Nations. I still would be like, thanks, but like you know, we can't really you know, you gotta be a certain way about that. A giant plane. A plane. Again, it's a normal gift. They didn't give him a watch, they didn't give him a ring, they didn't. A plane. Wow. God, that man is stupid. A plane. A plane. A plane from Qatar, guys. I'm trying to think of a real life analogy. There's not even a real life analogy for that. Okay, you're at the gas station, you're pumping gas, right? All right, so you go in the store and you know, you gotta pay for it, right? Right? Like that's a deal, right? You make a deal with the person, you're gonna get gas. Pay. Okay. So you go in there, right? And the gas person, you hand them their money and you know, like normal shit, right? And instead of just normal transactions, the guy goes, "Hey, hey, hey." You know, uh I can I got this monster truck. It's real cool. You can have it. Legit, you just have it. It's a monster truck. You don't have one of those. It's really cool. You want to see it? I'll let you try it out. I'll let you sit in the cockpit. You wanna try that? Come on, at least sit in the cockpit, man. Come on. It's just right out back. Come on, it's just right out back. Come on, just have a look. At least have a look. Come on. Okay. You try it out. Okay. All right. I want the monster truck. It's really free. You're just gonna. But you're nicer than any of my people are. They never give me a monster truck. What nice people you are. I'm gonna give you some stuff because you're nicer than these people. I'm gonna give you their data. Who cares about them? And then you're driving your monster truck. 2 weeks later, you get in there. You call up your buddy. Hey, buddy. Hey, thanks. I just wanted to tell you I'm going out for a drive in my monster truck today. Yeah, I'm going right now. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for the monster truck. I'm going right now. You really want me to rev that up for you? Okay. All right, buddy. Thanks for the monster truck. Okay, let's see. Tracker on. All right. So now we just wait for it to start moving. Okay, there we go. When he shows up, where it blew up, where it crashed. And steals the football. Do you know what the football is? Yeah. Ada? Ada? Duh. Come on, guys. When I can theorize this myself sitting here, that man is going to have everybody telling him don't do that. Any moron should tell him don't do that. And he's going to do it anyway. Do you know why? Because God doesn't intervene. That's why. That guy is the luckiest motherfucker on the planet, and he keeps getting luckier. In fact, somebody actually gunned for him. And all it took was for him to turn his head, and just by that much he was missed. Motherfucker is the luckiest dude on the planet. And he keeps getting luckier. God don't exist. Not in the real free will sense. He's not here. He's not interacting with us. That's free will. That is what he warned us about. That is the devil. That's everybody trying to take out the devil because they don't want the devil and they see it. They're evil. The Bible warns you about that too. Don't become corrupted and take it into your own hands. Don't do the thing he would do. But yeah, still the devil. Yes. Sure. Sure. So, I mean, it is a very real concern that again people are manipulated with that thought that God is telling you to do it. Stop it. Stop. God doesn't do that. The wars that happened, God hates that. That's condemning God. Dragging his name into a war. Killing each other in God's name? That's condemning. That is what it actually means. Not saying God damn. What does that mean? There's syllables. And God, it doesn't hurt anybody. And if anything, you're missing the point. I'm saying, God damn that thing, like you flip it on its end just to be offended. That in itself is inherently manipulative. Not you, but whoever's doing that to get you to feel that way. Like clearly there's an outside thing there. So recognize that that's not the purpose of what that's supposed to teach. That's not what Jesus taught. And that's why I want you to respect him for what he did. I respect him for the fact that he was a man that died for that cause. It still gives it the same ring. Just respect it for what it is. He is not God. Period. Please, for the love of God, accept that he isn't God. Accept that Jesus Christ was a person trying to stop everybody from doing exactly this. All of the killing, all of the manipulations, you have a king. He runs misinformation. It's reputation, it's word of mouth. I don't like what he's saying, yada yada yada. Off with his head. It's all that. So, in a time where people only believe what they see, all that misinformation, Jesus needed to be a symbol. He needed people to believe he was God out of fear of God. Because he knows God is real. He knows there's consequences. And he wants people to make the most of their life before just abruptly shortening it for no reason. Or somebody else's, for that matter. That's how you should look at the sacrifice. You didn't die for your sins. What the fuck does that mean? This doesn't even make any sense. No, he had a vision. He followed it out. And he had his followers. I mean, these guys were the smart people, the educated people of the time. Like they followed him around, and he, I mean, he was a farmer. They did well. They did fine. So, he would have been fine, and he would have known things, and he would have been able to help, and he did. And he had his followers, and the point is they needed to continue his work. So everybody had to believe after that happened that he ascended. His body didn't disappear. They stole it. These were magicians. Jesus Christ turned water into wine. He was a magician. That stuff's ancient. It's just sleight of hand, man. They learned how they were gonna have to do this. I mean, God, at the time, it would have been easy. You just do it at night, and I mean, it's like your cameras or anything, for Christ's sake. Okay, we're talking about, I mean, like it's the sort of thing where, um, I'm sure they planned it, and you know and all that. But the point is that, um they needed people to believe that. So that's all. They just stole him from the tomb. Because remember, he was found. They found his body. That's in recorded history. They found his body. See, this is what's not in the Bible. But it wasn't there. It was somewhere else. So like, obviously they're not gonna put that in there. They're putting the stories in there. But yeah, what this guy did was that important, and it was important enough they created a New Testament out of it, out of what he did. And it wasn't supposed to be for you to sit here and turn Jesus into God. Does it specifically ever say that? Really? No. No. Jesus, the Son of God. Okay. We are all the sons of God, children of God. It says this. This is a very manipulative piece of text. Yeah, I think it was just a nickname. And they manipulated it. It was a nickname. They would call him the Son of God because they really thought this and worshipped him like that. And he used that. That was for that. Good. He was the right guy to do it, not Trump. He was actually selfless, not Trump. Get it? This is probably redacted information the government might actually have access to. Okay. If they know this, Trump probably knows it. And he's probably like, I am the second coming. And he's trying to do all this shit that Jesus actually did. And it ain't going so well. Okay. Um, I think for anybody to think of themselves as like God's only son is a bit narcissist. So if I'm going to call him out, there's a hint of narcissism there, and he's imperfect. Right there it is. Okay. There's your proof. Still needed to do it, but there's your proof he's human. Okay. Anybody that's truly, now again, I'm not saying he's not selfless and he still didn't die for a selfless cause. But yeah, they won't typically go around bragging about it and saying it. They'll try not to say it. And they'll just help people. And probably remain anonymous. because that's how God works. So, um, it's far more mysterious. It's more about our connection, actually, on a mental level, surprisingly. And this is what they're sort of trying to kind of get into a bit. Um, so, um, I've thought about it too. So like our brains operate like that too. So like, is your soul your brain? You know what I'm saying? Well, how would that be true then? Because then your soul is only the sum of your experiences in that particular life. That doesn't make any sense. The soul. Here's what I think. I personally think that you can think what you want about souls or something. Like if there is such a thing. Um, I think we I think we want to believe that there is, and that's the want in oneself to believe there's something. Um, so the reason I think that is, as you know, I mentioned the thing in science that supports the fact that energy is never gotten rid of. It's only transferred, and we know that the human body has a certain amount of energy in it. So the question is, where does it go? So that's the one science thing that sort of supports um something. And listen, I mean, electricity is grounded and can disperse into the ground. Is that energy? That's what we have in us. We have electricity. It's electricity. That's what it is. So I think that's also interesting too. Um obviously obviously doctors are aware of this and stuff like that, but it's the sort of thing where it's like, how do you equate, like, it's not really electricity. Obviously we can talk about the what's the node in the heart. We can talk all about that and stuff, but um we're talking about, like pure energy, and so it's just the sort of thing where it's like, um I think I personally think that we're thinking about it wrong in those contexts, because it's very one-dimensional, three-dimensional to think about it like that, actually, technically. So I think that we're kind of, like, getting locked in this loop of thinking about it wrong, just because we can't think outside our own boxes. It's sort of hard to think on another plane of existence when you don't know what it is. Yeah, even when we talk about the multiverse, we sit here and make up endless things based on things we've seen, cartoon universe, something that's a universe that's endlessly collapsing, a universe that's falling apart, a universe that looks like all flowers, a universe that looks like um you know um uh, decaying rot, like, just anything you can think of that you've seen before. Like, the idea is that you can think of this, and that's the concept, but that's all three dimensional. that's on the third dimension plane of existence. It's not really technically an answer. Um, so I personally think that again, whatever that plane of existence is, that's beyond this one, we're not thinking about it right. It's not really a way necessarily of being. That's where I think that you should look at it. I think you should look at it like that. It isn't reality. This is. The fourth, like time and stuff like that, are control dimensions that control this one. So things that exist in that are things that are systems of control that operate our universe. They're not supposed to be able to interact. I think that's how we're supposed to think about it. But I don't know. I just think that it makes a lot more sense when I think about it like that. So, um, so I'm just throwing that out there that um, if you want a little bit more sense to throw in that stuff, um, that's pretty much the top end of what I can give you. I think we're thinking about it wrong. I think it's just control dimensions. Because reality as we know it is reality. And so we can't think past that. So we have to do that. And so I just think that, um, sort of like for example, like if there's, if the dimension that we're in is such that there's another reality on top of it, I think we're thinking about this wrong. I think we're small. We're small. We're not the large. We think space is large because to us it is. I think I think that the fourth, like time and stuff, these are control dimensions, but I think there's like an eighth and ninth and 10th one past that that's massive. And we are like for example, like a little molecule of rain dropped on somebody's shoe somewhere in that dimension. Like again, that is what I think it is. I think it's that. I think it's you have to think about it like that. You have to think about it like um space is blackness and darkness just because what's beyond that is so fucking massive compared to your understanding, you can't see it. Um, if you were an atom, imagine like you're not human for some reason, you're a being that's just an atom. Would you be able to see me? Do you think you'd be able to see all of me? Or are you so small, all you can see is like the wall of my skin? Like you're a molecule on my skin, and all you can see is like the walls of my skin. Do you get it now? That's how I would think about it. I would think about it like, like a molecule, like there's little crevices and everything, okay? So like you're so small, you are the skin, you are the molecule of the skin, but all you're going to see is other skin molecules because you make up that skin. I think we're the atoms. I think that planets and stuff are like the rocks, and I think space is like some weird ocean for them. Something kind of like that, where there's just nothing really there. Makes sense. That's why I think we need to explore the water. No, obviously, I've explained that that's extreme pressure, dark, cold, lack of oxygen, all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of reasons to explore that and advance that technology. In addition to that, it's also we've never really done it either. So I think there's like a bajillion reasons to do that. Because it would help with that technology. You can do a lot with some technology on the ocean floor, very, very deep on the ocean floor, that's sort of very similar to what you can do in space, where it's like a weightlessness, immense pressure, and cold. It can be very cold too. So obviously not like space, but I'm just saying it's similar. And we need to do it anyway. So. Possibly find entire species down there we've never even known about, so there seriously, the lower we go, we see that. We go lower and we literally see things we've never seen before. And it's like, what the heck is that? So I think we got to do that. And I think Russia doesn't want us to do that. Because I think they already did. So, all kinds of stuff going on. It's a modern world. There are dark zones in the ocean right now. And under the Trump administration, you have no idea what's going on there. There are probably unchecked jails and stuff like that where they're holding illegals on a ship. It's probably what it is. Who knows? But I assure you, they are probably using them for some type of unpaid labor. So there's a real good chance they are building shit out there. And they're not supposed to be. And there's a good chance they're using people that they're gonna dispose of when they're done with them. So, just saying, there's only so much you can trust a president that pleads the fifth when asked about Jeffrey Epstein a bajillion times during cross-examination. I mean, literally, the guy was literally supposed to be honest and, like, again, if he had nothing to do with it, why would he be concerned about being friends with that guy for so long? Yeah, I guess I said I wasn't gonna be. I guess I said not here long, huh? All right, well, we'll take that off. We'll take that off. I started talking about reality and shit. But that's okay. You guys know, like, I've been really trying with this, but again, we're in a world now where you have to remind yourself that you know, it's very rare to come across somebody in government because of Trump that's gonna speak truth, fact, and care. Because even if we do something about him, there's a real good chance that there's gonna be copycats like him that want to take advantage of the office and see what he's doing. A real good chance. And we can't allow that. We have to do something about that unchecked authority. We have to. It's absurd that this one stupid asshole is doing all this damage to our country. Just one stupid asshole. And all he's supposed to be doing is commanding the military. That's what you elect him for. He's the commander in chief. That's it. He's not supposed to be deciding all this shit and signing executive orders. What a stupid fucking douchebag. So in current reality, in regular times, modern times, you gotta understand that the few times that somebody intelligent comes along and is trying to join in and shows up, please acknowledge that and go for that, please. Can we please just somebody better? Anybody really? I'd rather a goat. I'd rather a goat. You're like the animal. I'd rather a goat. So when someone's speaking truth, like facts and oh, I don't know, has a record-breaking economy in California, balances the budget. This economy competes with world economies. The economy in California is literally competing with France's economy. It is literally one of the best in the entire world. And the rest of the United States is fucking garbage. And you're all so dumb you can't recognize how democratic that state is. And Governor Gavin Newsom did that. Please, 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 Gavin Newsom. Please, Gavin Newsom. He's your guy. He balanced that budget. Just look it up. We've talked about it on stream before. You can look it up yourself. World record breaking economy. I mean, that's absurd to think about that right now. They have an economy that's actually way up there with France right now. With how good they're literally way up there. And the rest of the United States is just trash. Just way, way, way down. Way down there. Yet California had Gavin Newsom. Oh. So, a Democrat that actually balanced the budget. Hmm. Oh. Yeah. Let's get that guy. Let's get him. Please. Smart too. He won't do that stupid shit Trump would do on an overseas trip. He would not. He's so smart. Other countries would be afraid. That's what they're afraid of with Hillary. They did not want a woman because they're afraid of one. It's just the truth. Um yeah. I personally think Donald Trump was manipulated, and a lot of this, him running for president and stuff like that. Yeah, I think a lot of it is Russia's doing. I do. I think, they wanted him there. I think his wife is a tool for them to use to manipulate him. Um she's Russian, right? I do think she's a tool to manipulate him. Um, Again, she's not trying to be rude, but she has never like shown me any kind of inclination that she seems to care about being first lady at all. In fact, I remember when he first got elected. Remember, there was like this real big thing about how she wasn't even staying in the White House. So, like, again, her residence, if they're married, is the White House. It's not Palm Beach. No matter what lawsuit Trump is trying to sue, and that has a lot to do with it. I don't give a shit. I don't care what he's going to sit here and try to say on a fucking lawsuit. She doesn't live. Nobody thinks that she lives in Palm Beach. Nobody thinks that. Yes, she has a permanent residence there, sure. But she is clearly the first lady of the president, and for the foreseeable future will live at the White House. Do you remember it almost seemed like Trump wasn't going to do that too? Do you remember? It almost kind of almost seemed, it's like, yeah, okay, like you're not going to fucking do that, dude. This guy totally underestimated the White House. He did. He underplayed that. He didn't know. He didn't know how extravagant. He didn't know. See, it already is. The point is, he thinks he's the only one good enough for it now. That's what you have to realize. He thinks, truthfully, about this kingly thing, he thinks he's the only one good enough for it. Dude, this guy doesn't even deserve the riches he does have. He didn't earn them, he scammed them. From desperate people. That's what he's always done. That's what a casino is. That's a desperate person that's trying to win some money off of the little they got. 2 hours. 12 viewers at one point, 10, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11, all these viewers. But, you know, YouTube seems to think the stream is at 39 views. Just 39. Totally makes sense. Okay, well, whatever. Anyway, I am actually going to go. That's enough. That's enough. The point is, there's so much misinformation, disinformation, and just psyops and like all this shit is being run by foreign countries, your own country against you. I mean, like Donald Trump quoted, I swear to God, not even that long ago, there's a lot that we do to you that you don't know about. Actual Trump quote, okay? All right. If you don't have me yelling this to the rooftops, who's going to do it? I feel like even the scam baiters are confused half the time. Some of them. And don't kind of stand like some of it. Not the cybersecurity side of it, obviously. I'm just talking about like, you know, espionage side of things. Okay. It's not the same thing. And yeah, sure, you can be fooled easily. Absolutely. So, yeah, these things that get you alone and independent and stuff like that, it's to cause separation. Whatever you want to do about that is your business. I don't care. Okay. I'm not telling you to do whatever. Okay. I'm just saying this is what they're doing. They're trying to separate people, divide people. If they can split up your marriage, they will do it. They will. That is the goal. The goal is to get us all to fight each other. They want us to harm each other. They want a civil war. Trump wants it. Other countries want it. That is what they want to do. The reason Trump wants it is because he wants an excuse to remain president. If we have a civil war, he's got one. Don't do that. Don't give it to him. So yeah, if you're experiencing a lot of things, all different directions, there it seems like your friends are acting different, or something's like trying to cause tension between you and other people and stuff. I would really recommend that when you're interacting with these individuals, try to limit the amount of internet connected devices while you're doing this. That would be my suggestion. Just so that there's as little happening to listen to you as possible, because you know, again, mobile device, they can connect that regardless. You know, so you know, you have an off button, use it. You you know, you're gonna have mics all over the place. All right. Some of you think you don't. It's in your TV. It's in your headset. It's in your phone. There's a mic in your phone. Don't forget that. They can just use that. Okay. So anything really, anything. Okay. Really, that's real. Really, not fooling you. Okay. This is the modern day. It's that easy. Um. These guys that do this, these scam baiters and stuff, specifically Scammer Payback, a lot of this stuff I know about because of them. They talk about this. That's not even just coming from me. That's coming from the pros, okay? I'm not saying that. All right? And that's real stuff, unfortunately. And some of it actually comes too from listening to John Kiriakou recently revealed that they had technology to listen to you from your smart TV, but we've known that. So I'm just mentioning him because yeah, I like the guy. But you know, I hope that he's staying safe and sane. Dude, just don't trust this administration. Don't interact. Just don't. Okay. I know you hate Obama and stuff because of what happened to you, but it's not a reason to like Trump. So please do not listen to anything that idiot says. Please. for your own good, man. And don't be surprised if there's like this lingering machine left from the World War II, Vietnam era of culture in that agency of you sort of kind of going around that they don't know how to get rid of, where it's ingrained in the training. You know, it just sort of kind of ends up happening that people become that way. And so want to push paperwork to assassinate people that talk about peace and push for war instead. And it just makes me think, you know, just how many times somebody asked that guy something and said something to that guy in conversation just for the sake of seeing how he would react to it, you know. So just by some of the stuff he's told me, or not told me, he said in interviews, I should say, where I listened to it and I was like, you know, you're a real badass. You recruited a lot of guys. You're a real badass. Yeah, I wonder if he was saying that because he was the guy trying to justify a reason for them not to assassinate you. Is saying it real loud or in front of other people or something like that. I often wonder how much of that it's like, what was the context of that? Just randomly. That's how it works. That's the culture of that. That's how it works. Okay? So they're in office too. It's an office. Okay. Anyway. Oh, now we removed our like. We had our like on there all the way up until that. So I said it's an office too. What the fuck? Just right then. Huh. Boy, you are just really like right now, talk about this right now, draw attention to it. Unlike now, confetti. right now. This. What the fuck? Interesting. All right, guys. Ridiculous. All right. See ya. Later. Bye. Get the hell out of here. Go do something else. Don't do this. Don't go watch a CIA videos. Go do something else. Come back to it. Reflect. Don't stay too absorbed for too long. Reflect. Do something else. Come back. We've been talking a while for about this shit. Okay. Go outside. Play video games. Stretch. Whatever you're gonna do. Okay. Then go back and watch your CIA videos. Okay. Or whatever. Okay. Don't go straight from this to that. Don't. Okay. All right. I want you to see it for what it is, not for whatever I say it is. You have to see it for how it is. You have to see it. All right, guys. Thank you. See you. And Pierogi's not such a bad guy.